Good morning. This is Pastor Zach with the Goodland United Methodist Church with your morning devotion for Friday, August 24th. Today I'll be reading from the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verses 56 through 69. Those who eat my flesh and drink my blood abide in me, and I in them. Just as the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father, so whoever eats me will live because of me. This is the bread that came down from heaven, not like that which your ancestors ate, and they died. But the one who eats this bread will live forever. He said these things while he was teaching in the synagogue at Capernaum. When many of his disciples heard it, they said, "This teaching is difficult. Who can accept it?" But Jesus, being aware that his disciples were complaining about it, said to them, "Does this offend you? Then what if you were to see the Son of Man ascending to where he was before? It is the Spirit that gives life. The flesh is useless. The words that I have spoken to you are spirit and life. But among you there are some who do not believe." For Jesus knew from the first who were the ones that did not believe, and whom was the one that would betray him. And he said, "For this reason I have told you that no one can come to me unless it is granted by the Father." Because of this many of his disciples turned back, and no longer went about with him. So Jesus asked the 12, "Do you also wish to go away?" Simon Peter answered him, "Lord, to whom can we go? You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe and know that you are the Holy One of God." This passage from John talks to us about partaking of Jesus as manna, involves a full reliance on God. In the Gospel of John, one way John expresses this throughout the Gospel is through this word abide. The idea of abiding appears throughout John's Gospel. The same Greek word appears in John chapter 6 and in 15, although it is often translated remain. Those who eat my flesh and drink my blood remain in me and I in them. Feeding on Jesus as manna means remaining or abiding with Jesus. It is through the proximity that Jesus brings life to those who eat. But abiding with Jesus is difficult. Staying with Jesus and learning from him is a long process. For many, a quick fix would be more attractive. The crowd was initially attracted to Jesus when they saw him as a Moses figure, one who could work miracles and provide political victories. As they continue with him, they learn that Jesus is not offering an easy victory, but a long road of discipleship. On a narrative level, the 12 were shown in this passage as the ones who abide with Jesus. They stick with him even though his teachings are difficult. Here they recognize Jesus' words as life-giving and do not turn away. In doing so, they represent what it means to trust that God will provide the manna. They stick closely to Jesus, and they listen to his words. This is their only real option, much like the Israelites stuck in the wilderness, whose only option is to return to slavery or to follow Moses. The disciples had a similar response, saying, "Lord, to whom would we go? You have the words of eternal life." We hope you will consider joining us at the Goodland United Methodist Church on Sunday for worship at 10:30 at the corner of 12th and Sherman. Have a blessed weekend.